Welcome friend. In the next lecture of Calculus First, we are discussing our chapter 2 sequences. In the previous lecture, we discussed algebra of limit of the sequences. And in this lecture, we have to prove squeeze theorem and we have to solve some problems on squeeze theorem. So we start our today's topic, squeeze theorem. So first we write the statement for this. Statement, let x is equal to xn, y is equal to yn, z is equal to zn are the sequences of real numbers that such that xn is less than or equal to yn is less than or equal to zn, and one more thing we have given, limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to limit n tends to infinity zn. Then the sequence y is equal to yn convergent, and then this sequence is convergent and limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to limit n tends to infinity zn. Both the limits are nothing but the limit n tends to infinity yn. Okay, this must be like this. Okay, so what we are written there, squeeze theorem, three sequences are given and xn less than or equal to yn less than or equal to zn is given. If these two sequences, that is the end points or end sequences, this sequence and this sequence both are convergent and their limit is same, then this middle sequence must be convergent and this limit must equal to the all the sequences. Okay, so we prove this. So what is given first? What is given? Write down this. We have x is equal to xn and z is equal to zn are convergent and let they are convergent and let suppose limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to what? Limit n tends to infinity zn. Suppose we say this limit is w. Therefore, by using the definition, what we are getting? By definition, for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists. We write this both the definition for 1k only. What we are taking? First we are writing definition for this, then we are writing definition for this, we are writing this k1, this here is k2, then we are taking maximum, but we are writing here directly, that is there exists a k belongs to the n such that what we can say, mod of xn minus w is less than epsilon and what mod of zn minus w is less than epsilon for all n is greater than or equal to k. Is it? We are not writing k1 and k2, we are writing directly the k. Is it? Instead of this we are writing it is in short, or you use this, that is right definition for this, and then you can take K1 and K2. There also no problem. So what we can use now, use the absolute property, absolute function property. So what we have, since mod A is less than B, then what we are getting here, minus B less than or equal to mod A is less than or equal to what? B. So use this property here, then what we are getting, minus epsilon is less than xn minus w is less than epsilon, and here also minus epsilon is less than zn minus w, it is less than epsilon. Now add the w in both sides, so what we are getting, my w minus epsilon is less than xn is less than w plus epsilon. Similarly right here also, that is w minus epsilon is less than zn is less than w plus epsilon. Say this is equation number 1. This is a important equation, and this is holds for all n is greater than or equal to k. It is holds for n is greater than or equal to k. Okay, so now what we can do, what we have given, we have given that, what we have given, xn is less than or equal to yn is less than or equal to zn, is it? Now we have this xn, we have this xn, but this xn is less than what? W minus epsilon, and this zn is greater than, that is zn is less than w plus epsilon. So we add these two terms, that is w minus epsilon is less than xn is less than or equal to yn is less than or equal to zn, and this zn is less than w plus epsilon by equation 1. It is holds for all n is greater than or equal to k. N is greater than or equal to k. Now remove this term, remove this both the terms, then what we are getting, w minus epsilon is less than yn is strictly less than w plus epsilon. Now go reverse step, what we are getting, for all n is greater than or equal to k, go reverse, that is what we are doing, subtract w from both sides, it is should be epsilon for all n greater than or equal to k. Therefore what we can write, mod of zn mod of yn minus w is less than epsilon for all n is greater than or equal to k, and therefore what we can write, limit n tends to infinity yn it is equal to w, and thus we can say, thus y is equal to yn is convergent, and what we can say, that limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to limit n tends to infinity zn is equal to limit n tends to infinity yn, and all the limits are equal to w. Getting this? So very simple theorem, just you have to use the definition. Okay, now we solve some problems by using squeeze theorem. So first problem is, show that the sequence sine n upon n is converges to 0, converges to 0. Okay, it is again important problem. Let xn is equal to sine n upon n, xn is equal to sine n upon n. Then what we can prove, we have to prove, what do we have to prove, limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to 0. This is convergent means what, we have to prove the limit of this sequence xn is equal to 0. So what we know, we have minus 1 less than or equal to sine n is less than or equal to 1. Okay, sine is bounded function and its bounds are minus 1 and 1. So therefore multiply or we can say divide, multiply by 1 upon n, where n belongs to the natural number. Multiply by 1 upon n or divide by n. This is both are same. So it is minus 1 upon n is less than or equal to sin n upon n is less than or equal to 1 upon n. Now what we can take limit of all sides as n tends to infinity. So take limit, what we are getting, limit n tends to infinity minus 1 upon n is less than or equal to sin n upon n is less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 upon n. Therefore what we are getting, this limit is 0 is less than or equal to sin n upon n, it is less than or equal to what? Less than or equal to, this limit is 0. So this is again, therefore by using squeeze theorem, so what we have say, by using the squeeze theorem, what we are getting, limit n tends to infinity sin n upon n, it is equal to what? 0. Hence the sequence sin n upon n converges to 0. Okay, so second problem we have to take. Show that the sequence xn, where xn is equal to 1 upon 1 n plus 1 square plus 1 upon n plus 2 square and dot 1 upon n plus n square converges to 0. Okay, so we solve the one more problem. It is again very important problem. Show that the sequence xn, where xn is equal to 1 upon n plus 1 square plus 1 upon n plus 2 square and so on, 1 upon n plus n square is converges to the 0. So how we prove? So first write down given xn is equal to 1 upon n plus 1 square plus 1 upon n plus 2 square and so on, 1 upon n plus n square. How much term will be there? How much? N terms are there. How much terms are? Here 1, 2, 3 and so on, n terms are there. To prove the sequence xn converges to 0. That is what? That is means what? Limit n tends to infinity xn is equal to 0. Convergence means again we have to prove the limit is 0. Okay. So what we can do? Again we have what we can say 1 upon. Now if you make a smaller denominator, the number will be greater. That is, if you have any fraction, then smaller denominator number will be increases. and if you did greater denominator, then your number will be decreases. So what we take, n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus n, we replace all 1, 2 and so on these numbers by n. That means this number becomes a smaller numbers. That is what we have to do. We have to make a number smaller. That's the reason we have to increase the denominator, or we have to write the denominator greater. So n plus n square plus 1 upon n plus n square and so on up to the what? 1 upon n plus n square. It is less than or equal to. It is less than or equal to what? With our xn. And now what we have to do? We have to make a greater term. How we become this? That is, we have to take a denominator smaller. So we cut this 1, this 2 and so on. So what we are getting? So this is nothing but 1 upon n square plus 1 upon n square and dot dot 1 upon n square. How much terms are there? These are the n terms. How much terms are there? All these are n terms. Is it? So n terms means what we are getting? 1, 2 and so on. So addition will be n upon n plus n is what? 2n square. Is it? 1, 2, how much terms are there? N. Denominator is same. Therefore addition of numerator is n. And denominator is n plus n is 2n. It is less than or equal to xn, and it is less than or equal to, again here are n terms. So addition of denominator is n and denominator is same. So it is become a how much? N upon n square. So now this just do simplification, that is n upon 4n square is less than or equal to xn is less than or equal to what? N upon n square. Now cancel this 1n. So what is remaining here? What is remaining? 1 upon 4n less than or equal to xn is less than or equal to what? 1 upon n. And now what we can write here? What we can write here? Just take a limit of both sides. Taking limit of both sides, what we are getting? Therefore, taking limit as n tends to infinity, then what we are getting? Limit n tends to infinity 1 upon 4n less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity xn, it is less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 upon n. Now what is the limit of this? Limit of this is 0, which is less than or equal to limit n tends to infinity xn is less than or equal to what? Limit of this is again a 0. Therefore, by the squeeze theorem, what we are getting? By the squeeze theorem, limit of these both the sequences are 0. Therefore, this limit must be 0. Therefore, limit of middle sequence must be 0. Is it? Therefore, what we can say? Therefore, the sequence, which sequence? xn converges to 0. So this is very important problem again. We solve some extra problems in the practical session. So thank you very much.